I saw a moderately sized greenish orb coming from my closet when I was about 13. I literally froze in fear. I couldn't move to turn on the light. My mind was racing, thinking to myself, am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing? And then the denial phase, there must be a logical explanation. Finally, when I worked up the courage, I screamed for my mom. She came in and turned the light on and the orb vanished. I jumped out of bed and over to where I saw it. I was certain there was a something causing the light, like a malfunctioning toy or something. To my horror, there was nothing that could have emitted any sort of light in the area where I saw the green orb. There was a box of books sitting there, so to this day I have no idea what it was. But I remember it so vividly and how scared it made me feel.
Just to set the scene a little, Tilda. Age 20, I was finishing up a game of disc golf at a city course at dusk. The sky was still bright enough to see my surroundings, but there was no direct light. I was in a bit of a valley, and the sun had fully dipped behind the hill. On the branch of an evergreen, at waist height, was a very small, very bright light. It was Ewan so bright that it hurt my eyes, or left spots like the flash of a camera would, but it was very noticeable from approximately 15 meters. My first through was, that's definitely not a lightning bug due to its color being so brilliant, not yellow. I turned the branch over into my hand and the light fell into my palm. I stayed at it for a while and admired it. It was the purest white I've ever seen. But that was all it was, just light. To be sure, I tried to dump it into my other hand but accidentally dropped it into the grass. I didn't lose it just yet though, as it was obviously easy to spot. So I got down on my knees, spread the grass, and continued to watch it. Within approximately 10 seconds, it slowly dimmed until all that remained was nothing, just empty dirt.
I had a false awakening dream last month. I've only ever had a handful, but this was like 2 false awakenings. Or maybe not. Maybe it was real. I was dreaming of crazy crap like a floating river in the sky or something. That dream was cut short by me dreaming that I woke up to a dog in my room near my desk. I was looking at a wagging tail at the foot of my bed. It moved to the side of my bed, and I could see it was my deceased dog, Rudy, who was now jumping around and going nuts like a good dog does when it hasn't seen you in a long time. I sat up and started petting and hugging him, also going nuts from elation. Then I remembered he was dead and felt like crying. I think I then woke up for real, sitting up in the same position with tears in my eyes. I laid back down and eventually woke up normally, but I didn't have any more dreams that night. It is hard for me to articulate the strange dream loop that happened. Was the false awakening actually just that? Did I have yet another false awakening after that? That made me remember he was dead. And I dreamt up finding myself still sitting up in dog petting position. Was it a reverse lucid dream? Maybe it was his spirit and it actually happened? I don't know, but I've thought about it every day since. I do not believe in ghosts, and quite frankly I find dream mechanics like false awakenings and this double false awakening to be more mind-boggling. A couple years ago I had a different false awakening. I woke up sleeping on my stomach and felt like there was something in my room right above me. It felt electric and magnetic and like it was pulling at me like a gravitational field. I remember I tried to look at it and vaguely remember something like the arms of a plasma globe toy but greenish yellow. When I woke up and eventually got ready to go to work, I put on my analog watch and noticed the time skipped ahead by almost a half hour. Newish battery. Never had problems with the watch. I googled why a watch would actually skip ahead instead of slowing down like a failing battery, which is what I assumed, and all the results are exposure to something magnetic or an electric shock.
I've had several unexplainable experiences throughout the years. This one happened around 2007. At that time, I was living with then BF, his 2 kids, 12 and 17, and my 2 kids, 9 and 12. After dinner one night, all of us were in the living room just relaxing. The boys were playing on the floor with our new puppy. The girls were sitting next to me on the sofa. My BF was sitting in a chair. We had French doors separating the kitchen from our living room. These doors were closed. I could see the kitchen area through the glass in the door. I saw a ball of light, about the size of a soccer ball, come through the door. Before I could react, the ball went under the sofa, and I could see the girls being pushed up with force, and they both yelled out. Then I felt it on my bottom, and it also pushed me up off the sofa. The sofa was the standard type of sofa. There's barely room under the sofa for anything to fit under it. This ball of fluorescent white light came from out of the bottom of the sofa, and then across the room and up a flight of stairs. We all just sat there quiet for a moment. Even the puppy had seen it. I've told this story before, and others have commented that it must have been ball lightning. It was not. This thing moved with purpose. It forcefully moved the girls and myself. There was a large bay window it could have gone out of, but it went up the stairs. It was spinning colors the whole time. My bedroom and the boys' bedrooms were upstairs. They refused to even go upstairs, and they all slept in my daughter A's room on the first floor that night. We discussed it that night. None of us had answers. I remember feeling uneasy. Odd thing is that none of us has discussed this incident with each other. It's never been brought up since. Part of me wants to ask my kids what do they remember about that night. The other part is afraid of what they will say.
Years ago, my mom and I were watching a movie late at night. She got up to go to bed. She came back into the room shortly after to say, "I just saw something in my room. It was white." I thought this was a setup for a gotcha prank and asked her to show me. She refused to come along. I went down the hallway without turning on lights. Halfway to her bedroom, I saw something glowing bright white and human-shaped walk across her room, turn its head to survey the room, notice me, and then take a flying leap through a wall. The wall it went through led to another bedroom. I didn't see this being land inside the second bedroom, but I also did poke my head in there too closely just in case. I would describe it as brighter than the aliens in Cocoon and the ghost of Christmas Past in the Muppet Christmas Carol.
My fiancé and I had just moved into a little cabin. It was literally our first night there. The cabin was at the base of a mountain, with woods surrounding us. We had neighbors, but they were a ways down the road. I was setting up the air mattress to sleep on for the night. We had almost no furniture, being our first night on the property. My fiancé was in the shower, and all of a sudden I could feel static in the air. Intense static, pricking my body. I don't know how to explain it, but in a millisecond the inflated air mattress went almost concave with the edges stuck down to the floor and center lifted. I'm staring at it, trying to make sense of what is going on, and turn to my right. And in the doorway was this volleyball-sized blue orb just hovering here at head height. It wasn't solid blue light. It had things moving inside it. The closest thing I could compare it to is cells under a microscope. It was completely silent, just floating there. It felt like minutes, but it was likely 5 to 10 seconds of staring at it ... And it shot towards me and then out the closed window and into the woods. When it came at me, I dove out of the way and onto the air mattress. I was so shocked and couldn't believe what had just happened. I didn't tell my fiancé till the next morning because I was so rattled. Even now, I'm shaky typing this